24/7. It's your boy Doc, man. What's up? We're just gonna let a couple of people get on. If anybody wants to get in, give it a couple of minutes to get started, and then we'll get right to the festivities. Enjoy a little music in the meantime. Get a little refreshment. Get some popcorn, Slim Jims, jujubes, snow caps, nice big cup of Coca-Cola, ice cold beer, glass of rum or wine. I don't know what you're doing. I got Yingling. What y'all got? I got Yingling. And I got a dinner. Yeah. Good times. We got an excellent show going on tonight. You know, it's election night, ladies and gentlemen. It's election night, alright? Well, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it.
It's your boy, Doc. You are here 24/7. What's today's date, man? What is today's date? It's November 3rd. You know what that makes it today? Yes. But what's tonight? It's election night. It's election night. Left versus right, it's a political fight. Election night, y'all. Election night. Left versus right, at the end is in sight. Election night, y'all. Election night. Left versus right in this political fight. Election night, man, election night. It's left versus right and the end is in sight. We heard all their words and seen all they did. We casted our votes and now it's time for counting. So let the ballots come in and let the battle begin.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard, welcome aboard.
So what's going on? What's going on, everybody, huh? Let's see what's going on. Because I know there's some things going on tonight, man. Y'all ain't ready for it. It's election night, baby. It's top of the tops, man. Top of the crop. Let's see where we at. Oh, hang on. My intro messed up on us, didn't it? Damn, bro. Let's see. Hang on. I'll fix this up. Let me see.
It's your boy, Doc. You are here 24/7. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for counting. So let the ballots come in and let the battle begin. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard, welcome aboard. Ladies, gentlemen, and all deplorables, we welcome you one and all to the 2020 presidential election. In the left corner, wearing blue, weighing in at he can't quite remember. It's Mr. Mistaken, half a century in the making. The kitty sniffer, 0-47 with a handout for China. It's hiding in the basement, Sleepy Joe Biden. And in the right corner, wearing red and gold hair with a flare, weighing in at 45 and 3 Nobel Peace Prize nominations. It's Mr. Fulfills every promise in 4 years, and he's not even a politician. I know him, you know him, ask anybody because everybody knows him. It's the people's president, defending patriot champ, Donald J. Trump. Let's get ready to tussle. Yeah, it's your boy Doc, man, down here ringside. What's up, all? What's going on?
There we go, man. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Haha. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the race to 2020. We got it going on. Look, they already putting in the counts, man. We got some counts coming in, right? We're going with Fox News. We're gonna run with them. We're gonna run with them tonight, all right? Fox is usually, used to be one of the most unbiased. Well, we got some stuff to talk about. We ain't just gonna be sitting here twiddling our thumbs, watching some numbers come in. You know, there's always some room of discussion. So, put on a little background music. Let's get our minds set right. All right. What's going on this year? There's a lot going on, right? A lot going on. We're looking at these numbers coming in. I hope everybody went out today. Y'all voted. I hope everybody voted. I mean, you know, obviously my views are out there. But, you know, I hope everybody got out there and voted. You know, no, all jokes aside, I love everybody, all my friends, all my family. I don't care who you voted for, man. You got out there and you gave your little voice a chance, man. That's what you need to do. You know, there's a big saying right now in a large circle of people, and we're talking about how this is honestly one of the first times that the people got to vote, probably since Kennedy. All right. Now Donald done leveled the playing field. You know what I'm saying? He took a lot of the corruption out of it. He leveled it as best as he could. So they went with this old mail-in ballot stuff, and you know, this is not illegal. You know, everybody might be mad about it on the right, but this is not illegal. You know, it's been in place for many years, pretty much all the years that our democracy has been. So there's nothing new there. And there's also some conjecture about, you know, they're not going to call a president a winner of the presidency tonight. You know, and this is transcendent about every election, alright? Because I can count so many times that I've been privy to an election where I went to sleep and had to wake up the next day to find out because it hadn't come to yet, right? Now, with that being said, man, you know, everybody's in uproar, like, oh, this is BS, and yeah, it is, to the extent that they're trying to carry this out. Because never in my life have I heard about a presidency being announced, you know, more than a day or two out of the counter. There was old George W. Bush, you know, and there was a large recount crap going on, and it was in the state that I live in, Florida, man, right? So, I'm from New York originally, but I live in Florida. So Florida's got a big watchdog union on it, man. They are definitely watching all the counts that are going on in Florida, without a doubt. Alright, we got a total different governor going on. It's not Jeb. It's DeSantis. My man's up on it, man. My man's on it, dude. Alright, a lot of people talk shit about the guy. He's handling it well. He's not playing the fucking narrative. He's not going with all this fucking bullshit. He understands what really is going on, and he's treating it accordingly. That's not saying that the whole state is just fucking a free-for-all, you know. Each part of the state, each county, each district has its own little delegation of authorities to declare what they're going to do within their county borders. So here where I'm at, you know, I'm up in Hope Sound. I don't put on a mask to go in a store. I can't even think of one store I go into that I have to put on a mask around me. And a lot of people are like, what the heck? Yeah. There's places like this still. Now, when I say this, man, you gotta listen up, because if I go, let's say, a town and a half, maybe, north or south, now the masks start becoming more prevalent as you travel outside of the little bubble that I'm in, you know? So I'm grateful for the spot that I'm in. I'm very blessed, alright? But there's some things that we gotta understand about what's going on with this electoral count, because everybody talks about these electoral numbers, right? That's what it is. We got the popular vote Right? The people go ahead, they put in their word of who they want to see up in there. We all get out to the polls, and then we know that as the ballots come in, what happens? We're looking at the electoral college, the amount of votes that they can get, right? How does the electoral college even work? I mean, I don't know if anybody is even like, super duper keen to this. Well, let's check it out. Alright. There we go. Yeah, maybe later. Alright, leave me alone. So this is from Business Insider. Alright. As you see, businessinsider.com/how the electoral college works, timeline 2020-8. Okay, so here we are. So you need 270 votes to win. Right now, what do we got? They're saying I don't know if this is up to date on this one. I've had this site up for a minute. But let's look at what they're saying. How the electoral college works. Alright. Let's read it here. Voting in the 2020 presidential election ends tomorrow on November 3rd. So obviously this article was written yesterday, or at least published for yesterday. Okay? And it goes on to say, in the United States, Americans don't directly elect the president. Isn't that weird? And contrary to popular belief, there is no constitutional right to vote for president. What the? Alright, let's see what they gotta say, man. I mean, this is news, right? Instead, states appoint a number of electors equal to the number of representatives they have in Congress to the Electoral College, a system that was devised in the 18th century by the founders of the United States, the New World. All states except for Maine and Nebraska use a winner-take-all system in which the candidate who wins the most votes earns all the state's electoral college votes. Now, this isn't exactly true. This is a major gray area. It is not only Maine and Nebraska. There's a lot of states. I believe it's something like 13 or 15, some odd number like that. But there's a number of states that have to vote a certain way, whether it be Democrat or Republican. All right, not just Maine and Nebraska. It is actually corporatized a little bit further than that. Let's say. All right. Now, let's go on to read it though. This system has resulted in some presidential elections, like the ones in 2000 and 2016, in which the winner of the national popular vote loses the Electoral College, sparking criticism that the Electoral College is fundamentally undemocratic and disenfranchises voters. In other words, it incapacitates the voters. You don't get to say, because they don't always go with what you say. Now, they got a whole little timeline on how these things will play out. November 3rd, 2020, states appoint their electors. That's what's happening tonight, right now. That's what we're going to be watching. Like I said, we're watching this little feed right here, right? It's live, as you can see. Oh, let me get it back up to date. As you can see, we got Trump's got 8, Biden's got 16. Okay? So, back to what we're talking about. The states must appoint their electors to the Electoral College on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November under a federal law passed in Congress in 1845, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So today all states hold popular elections to determine how their Electoral College votes will be allocated, but they aren't required to do so by the Constitution or by federal law. Okay, so there's nothing saying that they need to abide by the people's vote. For much of America's early history, legislators directly voted on how to appoint their electors without any input from the voters. Wow. You don't say. I say it all the time, man. Hey, look here. Businesses, corporations have presidents and vice presidents and, boards with chairmen on it, okay? Let me tell you about this. Kingdoms have kings and queens. So when we're talking about this election, you're talking about, let me tell you what we're talking about. Alright? We're talking about a freaking election for who's going to run the company. You've heard it said time and time again, the country's a business and it needs to be run as so. You remember Ross Perot years back, you know what I'm saying? What's up, John? What's up, AJ? Yo, much love to y'all. You guys remember Ross Perot years back? This guy, Ross Perot was great, man. He was funny looking, he had the big ears. Yeah, look, I got big ears too, whatever. All right, the guy was a little funny looking. This guy was a businessman, dude. This guy was a self-made businessman. This wasn't like, some run-in-the-midst type of guy like Mitt Romney, type of character where you're just silver spooning it out your fucking asshole. No, this is a guy who came from nothing. He came from nothing, alright? Ross Perot built himself up to be a billionaire, alright? This is a self-made billionaire. And he went ahead and took his own money and started running for election. Now, I feel like if he didn't back out, he would have had a strong chance at even getting a term. He would have had a good running, but he backed out and then came back in, and it was all that bullshit. But everybody said about him, the point being is that Ross Perot was a businessman. So everybody was like, he's a businessman, he's raw brass tacks, okay? It's the bottom line, it's the red tape, and he's going to run the country like a business, and the country is a business. And if you understand this country, it's incorporated. Everything's a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. Alright? It resides within the 14 square miles of Washington, D.C. That's point blank. Alright? It is a freaking corporation. All of your states, they're federally incorporated. You know what I'm saying? You have a state name. You live in New York. Okay? When you write out your mailing address, do you write New York? No, you put N and a little Y. Do you know why you put that? You don't even know why. Because that's the federal district that you live in. Okay? That is the state federal district that you live in. Is NY. That's the federal code. It's like, the post office. Alright? So, this is what they run with. They're going to be telling you that, your vote counts. Go out and get a vote. Yeah. We know better. It's a corporation. Everything's a corporation. The reason that you have to have a driver's license, you know what I'm saying? There's no law that's in place that says you have to have a driver's license. There's none. There's also no law in place that you have to pay income tax. Sadly enough, there was actually a high-ranking IRS female high-ranking official there, where she started doing some investigation. A lot of people started approaching her like, why do I have to pay taxes? And these are like lawyer individuals, people representing, lawyers representing people, coming at this IRS official, asking her, why do they have to pay taxes? There's no law in place. And she started to do a little bit of homework on it to rebuttal these lawyers coming at her, and couldn't find any conjecture contrary to the point. Okay? So there was no baseline that anybody has to pay income taxes. She actually resigned out of her position in the IRS. She's a front runner for the activism of taxation is theft. And that's what this country was founded on, that's realism right there. Let's not get it twisted. Taxation is theft. Okay? You got money you made, man. Listen, they tax the money that you made. Right off rip, before it even gets in your hand. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the books, if you're working for somebody, even if you know what I'm saying, you're a contractor and you work for yourself, you have to declare that. You know what I'm saying? You have to declare that money. So it has to be taxed. The government has to know about it. You can't keep something outside of the cookie jar. That's tax evasion. Alright? So how they got you on tax evasion when there's no law in place to even say that you gotta pay taxes? Isn't that freaking crazy? Right? Now you got a driver's license, man. Why you got a driver's license for? You got the right to travel, bro. You got the right to travel. It's an unalienable right. It's, you know, the right to earn a living, the pursuit of happiness, the right to travel, free exchange, right? These are our rights. This is in the Bill of Rights. But yet we no longer have the right to travel. The government goes ahead and says, you know, hey, dude, you got to go and get a permit. All right. See, because the unalienable rights that say that you have the right to travel, they say so because you are on God's land. Okay, the natural land, let's say, because everything stems from natural law, right? I'm telling you something, some knowledge here. This is why they pave the streets, bro. You understand? Because once they put concrete down, once they put something on top of it, now they can taxate, toll it, permit it, and you know, say what goes on it because it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? When you're passing, back in the day, I'm a settler, I got a stake of land, okay? If you pass through my land, now listen, I can post boundaries with a fence and I can put up private property. Now you can go ahead and go through that private property, but since you're on my property, I have the right to shoot you dead. Okay? Point blank. Now, if I put up a little passage through my property, I could try to charge you a toll. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to get resistance. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's natural land. You can't charge me to step on natural land. I have the right to travel. So when I pave it, when I put up a bridge, when I put up a gate, when I put up something that is not of the natural law, now I can mandate the public law, okay? Man's public law. So now I can charge you to be on that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta have a driver's license. Now I can sit here and argue all day with y'all about the right to travel. But that don't mean that I get to argue with the cop. The cop pulls me over, he says, where's your driver's license? I say, I don't have one. I have the right to travel. He's like, oh, you're a fucking sovereign citizen. I'm like, no, sovereign citizen is actually an oxymoronic term. You know, sovereign means that you're free of any control, and citizen means that you're under control of. So, yeah, I'm just sovereign, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, well, you know, do you have a social security number? So you really got to know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So if you're running under the public law and you got a social security number and a birth certificate that's still in effect that you haven't taken control of under a UCC Form 1, I know this is a lot of information, my man, but I talk quick, so you better keep up, alright? This is how it is. This is real facts. Alright, if you ain't got all that in the basket ready to fucking hand at him, like, no, look, I got a CPN, I don't have the SSI number. You know what I'm saying? I don't get down like that. I'm not part of your corporate system, so you don't have any authority over me. And I understand Black's Law Dictionary, so, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to understand anything that you say. I overstand anything that you say, because nothing makes me stand under. I am the controller of my own destiny. I'm the master of my own universe. When I go into a court of law as a sovereign individual, the judge says, you will address me as your honor, and I say, no, I am the honor. Okay? You're the judge. I'm the honor. I'm the honor. I am his honor. Because I run under his control. His control. That's natural law. You know what I'm saying? So they got this whole game skewed up on you, bro. They got you all fucked up in a basket with a chicken wing and a motherfucking biscuit, and it ain't no gravy to dip this shit in. I don't care how you order your motherfucking meal supersized with an extra on the side. There's no gravy to dip your fucking biscuit in. Alright, if you get my metaphor. The game's all set up. It's set up to fucking have you just enough to do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Job means just over broke. That's all job means. You understand that? We all understand that. They give you just enough on Friday so that you gotta come back on Monday. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you put it in the bank, you put it there for a reason. They don't give you enough for that reason, bro. You gotta save up for the reason, bro. I got like this little this little thing. I'm like, hey, if I can't own it out of pocket, man, maybe I don't even have any business owning it, man. You know, but that's a messed up way to look at things. That's a messed up way to look at things, right? Alright, so let's go look at the numbers, man. Let's go look at the numbers. Okay. Yeah, let's chime in, man. Are they saying anything? No languages. Alright, so back to what I'm talking about, man, you know. We'll let this run. I'm not gonna stay on me. You don't have to look at me. Just hear me out a little bit. Okay, let me paint a pretty picture of where we're at as a society, okay? Everybody hears about these terms, you know. There's a term for every fucking word, and every word has a term and a definition. I'm not talking in circles, just hear me out, alright? Check it. You ever heard of, like, words that have two meanings? You know, like, I love words like through, you know what I'm saying? Because there's, like, through, and through. You understand what I'm saying? They have different meanings. The same exact word. Alright? Now, in the legal aspect, they gotta talk about it. You know? They got a language of their own. And it's words that you and I use. It's called legalese, you know? If you go and you look at the Constitution of the United States of America, if you go ahead and you look at the Bill of Rights, okay, and any legal document, you're going to see things that are said. Like, we the people, that statement right there. Everybody hears we the people, and they think automatically that it's talking about them, the individual, okay? But we the people is not talking about the individual in legalese. The people are the people of the state, the people that work for the state and represent the state. That's the people in a legal term. Look, Black's Law Dictionary, volume 4 or 5th edition. Okay? 4th or 5th edition. And this will outline this term for you. So when you go ahead and you understand legalese, man, you're going to understand all types of entrapments that have been put upon you. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, I ain't gotta pay taxes no more, Doc. You know what I'm saying? I need this information, man. But listen, bro, you know, because a lot of y'all out here collecting some taxes, right? You get a little refund check, don't you? You know that's your money, bro. That's your money. They are dribbing and drabbing your money to you. Now, I'm not saying like there's a fund out there that's got $10 billion in it that you can just go and access at any time. That's not how it works, alright? Let me explain a little bit. This is a very confusing subject for most, alright? So I'm trying to speak slowly because I realized I was talking a little quick, alright? You see, Social Security ain't what you think, bro. That's why Trump is putting a fucking cap on that shit, bro. You see, the Democrats use Social Security as their own little fucking pocketbook. You don't want to fucking find that to be true. You go ahead and look up how Pelosi used those Social Security funds, went ahead and transferred into the impeachment arrangement. How you funding the impeachment of the president with the money of the people? When the people elected that president, that's not for you to touch. That's the people's money, and you got to get that out of somewhere else. You understand what I'm saying? Well, Doc, why would everybody want to shut down Social Security? I mean, there's people on Social Security. There's better things than Social Security. But we're not talking about shutting down Social Security. And now I know there's probably a couple of leftists that are like, they're skitzing out right now. Listen, dude, I'll explain it to you. And I'm nobody special, bro. And if I can understand this, I think you can too. So check it out, right? The stipulations and limitations that have been placed upon with executive orders by Donald J. Trump onto the Social Security Administration Fund and insurances are not against the people. Okay? The people speaking in you and I terms, street terms, not legalese. Okay, I'm not speaking legalese. Okay, so your grandma and grandpa are still gonna get a check. You know what I'm saying? People with disabilities are still gonna get their checks. This is not going to impact them at all. What it does is it actually ensures that they do get their checks. Okay, because the money is not being depleted into other aspects. It's not being bilateral and exchanged, transferred, or referendumed or referendumed into different allocated spaces or organizations or whatever account. You understand what I'm saying? It's staying where it needs to stay. It's staying for the social security of those who have paid into it, not those that elect them. Okay, those that are outside of it, they have their own little fucking pocketbook. Why are they pulling from ours? Amy Barrett, she's up in there. Amy Colin Barrett, and that's a good thing. But let's get back to the Electoral College real quick, because I just want to touch on one little point. As we're sitting here and we're watching these numbers, guys, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like this, that we're looking at these numbers coming in and we're like, yes, Trump, come on, come on, come on. And we also hope that the Electoral College is going to vote the same way as the people vote. As we've heard, they don't always do so, and there's no constitutional or federal amendment or law stating that they have to. Okay? So what happens? What happens if the Electoral College is like, you know what? Screw you. Alright? Well, that happens on December 20th. So everybody sitting here bitching and griping about the numbers not being in. Yo, my man, you gotta look at it like this. The college isn't even convening until December 20th. So let them fucking go ahead and postpone their little count all they want. Let them go ahead and swindle and swipe left and right what the fuck they need to do. Alright? What we did here, most of us on the right side, because this is historic. Republicans don't go out beforehand. Most Republicans. If we do, it's because we're on the move. We know we're going to have a full schedule. Maybe we're not in the country, in the state, in our hometown, near our fucking voting poll center. You know what I'm saying? And this is why the advent of the mail-in ballot, the absentee ballot, was actually put in place. For people that can't get out. For people that are, disposed elsewhere. For whatever reason. It was not meant to be abused. It was never meant to be abused. Okay? How do we keep people from abusing this? Well, that's where the Supreme Court comes into play. I want to talk about Amy Barrett real quick. We'll get to that in a minute. Anybody know that Hillary's getting on New York's Electoral College board? So she's actually going to have a little vote there. Does anybody know about that? Is anybody hip to that shit? Man, if you don't see how the deck is stacked. Yo, listen. Let's talk real quick. Real talk. Real talk, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce to you some knowledge that you might not be aware of. Big tech is a big thing. Obviously, that's why it's called big. Big tech, they control like everything, man. They're putting in place censorships like you ain't even ready for. And you've heard my opinion. Social platforms are just that. It's a social platform. It's like me being on the phone with a fucking friend, bro. You've seen the meme, The phone company isn't going to chime in and be like, we don't like what you're saying. Your friend, you can't talk here anymore. All right, it's a social platform. As long as I'm not going too far outside the box and telling people I'm going to kill them and spreading real hate messages and stuff like that, you know, I have the right to express my opinion. Now, even if I have a racist opinion or you know, a communist, some other political opinion, if I have whatever opinion is, some socioeconomic opinion, whatever my opinion is, I do have the right to post it, so long as I'm not declaring hate upon somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? That's the right of free speech. That's free speech, man. That's what this country is about. Free speech. So these big tech platforms that are imposing on our free speech because we had to sign their term and agreements even to get on their platform, you know, listen, your term and agreements are unreasonable, and if you're going to run the faction of a free speech society, you cannot have these type of terms and agreements. We got to do something about this. They're running under, what is it, Memorandum or Article 230 or something like that. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You go on to YouTube or Google the big tech, you know, meetings, the Zoom meetings and all that crap, and it'll come right up. You got Zuckerberg, you got the guy from Twitter. I mean, listen, the guy from Twitter, he looks like a mountain man. You got $10 billion, bro, and like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? You look like you see where I'm at. I ain't got $10 billion, all right? The guy looks like he's sitting here with me, but he got a beard down to his fucking pecker. Alright, he's probably got a short pecker, so it's a long beard. You know what I'm saying? Alright, his hair's all over the place. Alright, you see these guys, they're bozos, bro. They're bozos. Who the fuck are you and what kind of opinion do you have on the real world? Where do you even get off telling the common man? How do you will your being, your lifestyle, your opinion of what should be right and wrong, what you deem fit? How do you will that upon every other man? You got too much power, dude. You see this guy Zuckerberg, man. We up on his platform right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut me off, Mark, alright? Sorry. Baby back ribs. Baby back ribs. Hey, baby back here. Anybody seen that video? The guy, he looks fake, bro. These guys, they look crazy. They look fake like, dude, I want to know, where are you, man? Why don't you come down here? Come down here to the world with the regular people, with the everyday guy. The guy who has to get up at like 4:30, crack a freaking dawn. You know what I'm saying? And where do you live? You're in New York right now? It's cold as fuck. Oh my god. My cousin Dave, he had on freaking long johns, thermals, this, that, sweaters, mittens, gloves, galoshes, earmuffs, a hoodie, winter cap, a ski mask. He had on a fucking goddamn, you know, hand warmers, the whole nine, alright? I don't know, bro. Like, how freaking warm can you try to be, bro? It's like negative 20 degrees. I don't fucking know. I'm in Florida, bro. It's 70 degrees. I'm cold. I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying. I worked in New York, yeah. I lived in New York, man. Just being stupid. But my point is what my point is, man. You know what I'm saying? How does Hillary get on the Electoral College? Like, what is that all about, dude? How did that even happen? Isn't that, like, what fucked you out of your presidency? Now you're sitting on it. That's a hell of a play, right? It's all good, though. My man, he put 3 Supreme Court judges in place, right? Didn't he? Can we talk about that? Let's talk about, what's going on with Supreme Court judges. Why do we want to get all these Supreme Court judges? Do you remember the little promise that my man made to you? Do you remember the promise? What he said? He said, we are going to replace the Supreme Court. Okay, in a nutshell, this is what the man said. And that doesn't mean that he wants to put all you know, Republicans into their seats. It's not about court stuff. It's about constitutional judges. Judges that dictate law transgressed through and by the Constitution of the United States of America. Right? That's what it's all about. So why is court packing bad, right? You know what I'm saying? Listen, court packing it's horrible. You don't want all on side. What is this? Court packing meaning. Here we go. Let's look at the meaning real quick. So, court packing definition. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, I told you in 1937, he was trying to appoint up to 6 additional justices. He wants to extend the court's rule. Okay. You ever heard the term, too many cooks mess up the soup? You know? You got a certain number for a reason. When you try to go above and beyond, all you're doing is adding confusion. You're adding confusion. You're looking to hang things up. That's all it is to hang things up. A lot of people are like, wow, Doc, I didn't know that. Thank you. So listen, man, who's up on it? Let's take a little time and let's look at what's going on elsewhere in the world. We got the whole world is looking at us, ladies and gentlemen. They're waiting, man. I want to talk about something real quick like this right here. Let me bring this up because you all get a kick out of this. I know everybody does every time I do it. Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me. I'll tell you a good joke while I'm doing this. I'll tell you an excellent joke. What did one motherfucker say to the other motherfucker? How you doing, motherfucker? What else you gonna say, bro? You know how it goes. Come on, man. Come on. Alright, let's get this up. I want you guys to see this right here real quick, because this is something funny. And the mainstream's not talking about this, man. What's up, man? The laptop. The laptop. The laptop. Release the laptop. Yes, still love it. You guys see the video where he's like getting a foot job from like a 13-year-old? I mean, this is not a laughing matter. This is a sick fuck, dude. This is a sick fuck. He's like fell asleep with the fucking meth, the crack pipe in his mouth. Dude, listen, you're not talking to any stranger, my man. I've done just about every drug there is to do, just about every way there is to do it, except for shoving it up my ass or sucking it off of a cock, alright? And I'm telling you right now, bro. How the fuck do you fall asleep with a crack pipe in your fucking mouth? Like, what the fuck is that about? That's funny shit. That's funny shit, man. So, you know, Rudy Giuliani's talking about this, bro. Should I bring up videos of this? You know? Who's on right now? You want to see videos? I'll bring up Julie. Rudy Julie. You remember the song? Rudy Julie don't give a fuck about a movie. Rudy Giuliani. Listen. Rudy Giuliani, this is not a spring chicken in the game, dude. This is a veteran of warfare when it comes to the devices of politics and the judicial system, the criminal system. He understands a lot of sides of this. He has ran racketeering cases left and right against very, very high-profile motherfuckers. All right, and we got footage left and right of Rudy Giuliani, and he's talking about that this laptop is real deal. The feds have the laptop, alright? This isn't conjecture. What are they doing with it? Well, obviously they're leaking a little bit of the information out there for the public to see, right? But also, they are getting, what do they call them? Confidential informants, I guess you want to see, witnesses to testify on The laptop. Let's look this up real quick. Bear with me. I'm trying to talk and do something. Look. What do we want to look at here? What do we want to look at here? Okay. Just come on. We can go down here. Here we go. Hunter's laptop.
He says the president will bring up the controversy surrounding Hunter Biden's alleged emails at the debate.
All of the emails, the horrible emails, laptop from hell.
Rudy Giuliani was the one who provided all this material, and the U.S. intelligence community has flagged that Rudy Giuliani has been dealing with Russian agents.
President Trump and Joe Biden facing off in Nashville, Tennessee tonight.
Mainstream media don't want to talk about it like truth, right?
Down on a Tennessee stage. Rumors from Trump's rabid lapdog put him back in his cage. Demon claims a made-up government black came from the Russians. Appealing to folks in QAnon, he won't disavow them. Let me drop your Donald D's desperation plea.
Now you see how this is Stephen Colbert. You know what I'm saying? Obviously this guy is a fucking agent to the T. Alright? But they play it like conjecture, but listen, the fact still remains. Rudy Giuliani's all over the place with this, man. Why would Rudy Giuliani come out and tell you that he has witnesses under federal protection? Okay? Why would he tell you that the federal government has this laptop and they're stripping it down to the bone to find every little fucking nook and cranny to use, and have been doing so? And why is he also telling you that no matter what happens during this election, that this investigation is not going to be shut down? And if it does, you really got to look at this. Okay? The man's going to have to answer. So this is funny thing here, because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this. Oh, another Republican. I'm looking at this, and I gotta ask myself, why isn't the man in custody? Why isn't the man in custody? We got tapes of the kid doing left and right wrong. You know what I'm saying? We've got all types of incriminating evidence on the laptop. We have Hillary Clinton. Supposedly there was a bunch of compromising stuff on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Whether you believe the Frazzle Drip, hashtag Frazzle Drip conspiracy or not, there was other things on this laptop. Okay? There was other things on this laptop. And if you don't believe the Frazzle Drip conspiracy, I believe there was like 9 detectives or 8 detectives, and like 6 or 7 of them are dead now. Okay? So, one of them has moved underground into some sort of, like a witness protection program. So you gotta ask yourself, what's going on, man? You know, what the fuck's going on? And these are all the key players that you see moving into place. All the key players. The chessboard's set up. Now let's talk about the chessboard, right? Because when I mention a game, I got to talk about the game and how it's being played. All right, and you see this right here. All right, I voted, dog. I had to. It's the first election we've had since Kennedy. They tried to level the board for us, man. All right, there's a lot of shit going on. I understand really deep end about it. There's a lot of things that people don't understand. Like the way that this country works. We're talking about that it's a corporation. It's a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. Yes, indeed. And it's owned by a foreign agency. Okay, so it's a foreign corporation. The IMF, which runs the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, is the IRS. Right? That's where you go and you file your taxes to. Right? They tax the American people. That's a foreign agency, and they answer to a foreign agency themselves, the bigger conglomerate, which is the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. That's where they get all the money from, you know what I'm saying? So what you have to understand is that the American public has been swindled into being agents of a foreign corporation. That's what your social security number is, your birth certificate. Before 1933, the only thing that had a birth certificate was sellable goods that came off of the water or slaves. Slaves, cattle, livestock, things of that nature would have birth certificates as well, you know, to declare ownership. So, you're in a corporation. My man, you are in a total corporation right now, and no matter how you vote, you're voting for a foreign agent. That's why we talk about the president. My man, the president, he's the president of the corporation. So if you want to vote left or right, you're voting for a foreign agent. But this foreign agency that we have been seized under control with, you have to pick a side this time. You have to. It's imperative. All right. It's actually treason to get involved in a foreign election. Okay, an election of a foreign agency. It's treason for a sovereign American. But we've been controlled now. Okay. So here it is. Let me tell you. You got to get out there. You got to get your vote in. Everybody knows that. Now, I'm not speaking about everybody on the West Coast right now. You know, we're moving out towards the West Coast now. East Coast is done. It's almost 8 o'clock. Get your vote in. So when I'm telling you that it's treason to vote, yet I went out to vote, okay, because I know that I'm a slave in this foreign corporation. I gotta vote for the president that's gonna do best for me. All these other presidents haven't done it. My man's doing this, so that's why we out here doing this, okay? People that you have never seen vote before in their life are coming out right now and they're voting. Alright, and that's point blank. Let's look at some numbers real quick as we talk about these things. You talk about, you know, the Americas being, you know, the United States of America being a foreign corporation, and people say, you know, who owns this foreign corporation? Well, you can do a little research on your own, or you can take my word for it, and I never want anybody to take my word on anything. I just put info out there for you to go and research for yourself, find your own truth. The Queen of England and the Vatican, the Pope, you know, these are the controlling factors of the corporation in the United States of America. And how this came about is very interesting, all right, if you want to hear this. A lot of people don't know it. A lot of people. I keep on bringing up 1933. Why don't you go over to Google and put in 1933, all right? Let's put it in. Let's put in 1933. What happened in 1933? It was Sunday on the Gregorian calendar. Oh, that's an interesting fact. Not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for. Earthquakes, German presidential candidate, ba 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 ba. Not too much comes up. Well, something else happened in 1933, and it's called the House Joint Resolution. Okay? 192. Here it is. Look at that. June 5th, 1933. Alright. This is basically the resolution that enslaved the American public into the Corporation of America. And this is why we're sitting here trying to scrape back our democracy, our republic that's built upon a democracy with a capitalist, not a globalist, a capitalist. Oh, this is fucking great, right? Listen, what is HJR 192? What did it do? It suspended the gold standard, man. You know what that means? That means that your dollar, the United States dollar, it no longer has a gold standard. It's not backed by the gold brick, pebble, grain anymore. Alright? Now listen. This is not even conjecture, my man. This is not even conjecture. This is relative information. When they take the standard off of the gold dollar, what are they doing, bro? They creating a false currency. Alright? It's a false currency. Intriguing? It might be. Listen, man, enjoy the music for a minute. I'm gonna get a refreshment and come on back. And I'll explain false currency. Alright, the bathroom break has been done. Thank you. So we talking about false dollars, man. Here, check this out. It says that this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, my man. Alright? This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Where are we? Oh, there we go. I'm backwards. My bad. So there it is. Right there. It's a debt note, bro. It says nothing about profit. This is not a profit note. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is a Federal Reserve note. You see at the top right there? The United States dollar existed before 1933. Alright? The United States dollar existed all before 1933. US dollar pre-1933. Alright. Look at that, bro. Huh? United States note. You see that right there? It says United States note. Okay? You understand now? What does this say? Federal Reserve note. Okay? The Federal Reserve is not in control of the gold. They had to give up all the gold, okay, to the centralized banking system. They swindled the American people in 1933. They basically said, you know, any peoples that are in possession of gold or silver, you could be imprisoned. And they used legalese because there was no peoples, there was individuals. There were sovereigns, individuals. There's no people. You know what I'm saying? There's no fictitious people. Alright? So it was all legalese that they swindled you in with. That's why they tell you the devil's in the details, man. You got to read the fine print, okay? The fine print is what slaves you. It's what slaves you. Check this shit out, bro. Y'all want to see some shit? Let's check out some shit, man. You ever hear about some words, bro, and you be like, oh man, you know, words got some meanings. We got to think about these words, right? Let's check out these words. You think about a bank, right? What's a bank? A bank, you go to the bank. You cash your check, right? Now look here. Okay, what if I do this? What if I do this real quick? Right? You got a real bank. The bank, look, it's on both sides, right? What does the bank do? It controls the flow or the current of the sea. Currency. You understand what I'm saying? You see that? So when we talk about your birth certificate, this is interesting shit, man. This is verbiage, man. This is legalese verbiage. If the banks control the flow of the currency, and you know that your currency is how liquid you are. How liquid are you, brother? Right? So your currency is how liquid you are, and the river banks control the current of the sea. So the banks control your currency. All right, let me hit this with you real quick. When you came into this world, you were in water, right? You were in water, and we said that a birth certificate is for sellable goods that come off of water. Your mother's the vessel that brought you onto dry land through the water of her womb and birth canal. Isn't that weird, right? We're talking about liquid again. We're talking about liquid, water, right? What's the birth canal? Well, we know that every ship that comes into port has to come through a canal. And when they dock, when they get to the dock, they have to birth the goods that come off it. They have to have a certificate of birth for all sellable goods that come off of that vessel that came through the waters of the canal. Okay? So here we go. Here's the direct parallel. You came down your mother's birth canal, and the dock grabbed you. You're the sellable good now. So now you have a birth certificate. They write you up a birth certificate. Before 1933, only slaves and things that came off of ships had birth certificates. And now we all have a birth certificate. What's that tell you? You're a slave. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. So the dock catches you, and the dock signs your birth certificate. When you get a sellable good off of the vessel, okay, that has birthed at the dock master signs the manifest, the birth certificate, declaring sellable goods usable on dry land. Everybody's like, oh, Doc, where you going with this? You know what I'm saying? Let's check it out. Where the hell am I going with this, right? Oh, no, Doc, we're not a corporation. The United States of America is the government. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Really? Okay. So, let's talk about the law of the land. You got the law of the sea, and you got the law of the land, right? The law of the sea, that international waters, pirates, admiralty law. Hang on, though. Let's talk about the law of the land real quick, because that's what we live on. Everybody lives on dry land, right? I mean, I don't know about you. Do you have fucking flippers and gills? Hey, I live on dry land. Even if you live in a fucking seaport, down in, you know, some sea station, whatever they call it, some exploration sea base, you're still in dry quarters when you're down in your living environment. So we live on dry land. The law of the land is basically the traditions of the people, of the culture of that land, of who, you know, inhabits that land. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You know what I'm saying? So you got the law of the land. When you come into my household runs a certain way. That's the law of my land, brother. You ain't gonna come in here and be trash talking me in my house. That's not gonna happen. That's a law of the land, right? You don't trash talk your host. Okay? When you're a guest, you're humble, right? And you adhere to the cultures. If somebody offers you something and it's really far outside of your scope, you can explain to them, listen, this is outside of what I know, okay? I'm not comfortable with this, and they tell you, like, listen, okay, you're not comfortable with this, I understand that. Other times they're going to be like, listen, no, this is a tradition. You know what I'm saying? Like when I sit down at a table with a Russian, an off-the-boat Russian, okay, if anybody's been in this situation, they break out a bottle of vodka and they start pouring it. You got to drink it, bro. Once you take that first drink, that's not it. You got to drink the bottle with them, okay? That's their culture. That's the law of their land. You know what I'm saying? So that's all the law of the land is. The law of the sea is a little bit different. The law of the sea gets a little bit interesting here. And the law of the sea actually rules over the people that reside on the dry land. You know, the culture is the law of their land. What's going on, Doc? What are you talking about? Let me get my stogie bit. This is interesting. So the law of the sea is admiralty law, okay? Admiralty law is how you're going to come across the ocean, how you move on the ocean, how the water moves, okay? It's admiralty law. Everything that's tradable and sellable is running under admiralty law. Everything that's legal and under currency, that's why I pointed out that word, currency. Any currency, all economics and law run under admiralty law. When you become a lawyer in the United States of America, you have to pass the bar. Listen, the bar exam. And this is a hard test. It's one of the hardest tests on the face of this planet. Alright? But that stands for British Admiralty Rule. Why do I have to have British Admiralty Rule certification to practice law in a court within the United States? Because the United States is a corporation of Britain. You understand? This is, but it only resides within 14 square miles of Washington, D.C. You understand? So what they had to do was they had to say, hey, how can we get everybody to sign into this contract? And this is where the Social Security comes in. This is where your birth certificate comes in. Because by your parents signing that birth certificate, by you taking that Social Security number, what you're doing is you're becoming an agent for the agency of the corporation of the United States of America. So now you become a citizen is the word that they use. You're a citizen. You are under control of the United States of America Corporation. It's very simple. This is not hard to understand. I'm a moron and I get it. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they did to you. Now, you can go ahead and you can file a bunch of papers and get outside of this. But you need to be aware of this. The money's fake. When they took the gold standard off the back of the dollar, what they did was they created a fictitious currency. Currency has basically always been fictitious throughout history. Alright? It started off on a standard, it became fictitious. Certain countries put it back onto a standard, but there's this globalized banking system, the centralized banking system, that's trying to get it all back down into their control. Alright? It's very easy to understand. So when you partake in this little treasonous act of this election, man, listen, it's to secure the fact of what's going on with your money. President Trump, he put the gold back into the reserve. He hasn't put the gold standard back to the dollar yet, but he has put the gold back into the control of the Federal Reserves versus the IMF or the IRS. Okay? Very, very key little move. There's a lot of things going on that people are not understanding. So when we talk about this British Admiralty rule, okay, this Admiralty law, I talk about this for a quick reason, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you guys to look at the Democratic rallies versus the Republican rallies. President Trump always has a regular American flag behind him on stage, okay? Because he stands for the American people, the individuals in America, the citizens. The Democratic Party always has a gold fringing around the flags on any of their debates, organizations, press conferences. Go and look.
That gold infringement is the same kind of flag that you will see when you step into a court of law. Okay, civil court of law, public court, because it does not represent the individual, the citizen. It represents the people. We the people. You understand? We the people are not you and I, as we discussed. We the people are the elites, the people that work for the government, the ones running the government, the Senate, the House, the Congress, federal agencies, organizations, and all types of ABC criminals. Okay? Criminals. You got criminals sitting in there. Listen. I was a criminal for a long time. I know what criminals look like. I know what criminals smell like. I know what they dress like, what they talk like, what they walk like, and how they fucking shit, baby, okay? I know motherfucking criminals. Come on, talk to any street cop, too, and he'll tell you the same thing. I know criminals. Nancy freaking Pelosi, dude. You ever hear of this name? House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, right? Y'all know what this lady done did, man? This lady done did so much shit. I done told you before, man. This is not like a regular person. This is a freaking cartel boss, okay? There was a federal agency that actually stopped a shipment. It had tons and tons of methamphetamines. It would set sail and it hit American borders. They seized the shipment. You know who controls that container company? Who owns it? Nancy Pelosi. It's a fucking cartel boss. And you got like Biden, man. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? The laptop's coming to light. The guy took billions of dollars from China and split it with his people. Millions and millions ended up in his hand, 3.5, something like that. Alright? How do I know about this? I'm nobody special. You know what I'm saying? Because I listen to the guys that are freaking running these investigations, man. You know what I'm saying? Why would Rudolph Giuliani get on TV and say these things against the running candidate for the United States of America's presidency? Why would he do that unless it was factual? Factual. Why would mainstream media suppress this shit? Okay? Why? What's that agenda? What are you going to do when you wake up in the morning and they tell you, hey man, you can't say who won. Don't say who won. When they control what you say, they can then control what you do. This country's on lockdown right now, man. They got forced vaccines coming their way. They got mandatory lockdown. Alright? Australia. Venezuela is under freaking war. There's a war going on the Armenian border. I don't know if anybody even knows about that. There's like tanks and shit is flying, baby. Okay, war. Warfare. Alright? No bullshit. There's war going on, man. This is civil war happening right before our eyes, guys. Look at this crap, you know? Minnesota, you know, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Detroit, Michigan, so many states, so many cities inside of our borders, and there's war, dude. If you want to call this a peaceful protest, you're out of your mind. Alright. Let's look up peaceful protest, my man. What does a peaceful protest look like? Let's look at it. Here's peaceful protests, right? And look, we even got the Black Lives Matter in here, so we're not discriminating. This is peaceful. This is people with signs, right? These are protests. Let's go up here. I'll even joke around. Let's see if something comes up here, huh? We won't give up. We won't give in. So, still, peaceful protests. I put in peaceful riots. I wanted to see if it would jokingly come up. Right? If I put meme, it will come up. This is riots, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's not mistake protests for riots, right? These are riots. You can go into footage, you play footage all day long, everybody's seen the footage. I'm not gonna try to get all graphic with y'all. Alright. These are riots. These are not peaceful protests. You understand? They're burning American flags. They're attacking police officers and trying to overtake their precincts. Burning buildings, breaking into businesses, just decimating neighborhoods, burning vehicles. They're setting dumpsters on fires and pushing it into crowds of people and all types of crazy shit, right? It's a riot. It's a fucking riot, dude. There's no conjecture there. We get the difference, right? Okay. So what does this have to do with anything? Because, man, what happens afterwards, you know? Let's really talk about it. What happens afterwards? We talked about it last night, man. We got cream puff people ready to go ahead and do some stupid shit. What's gonna happen when they do that? I don't know. My wife asked me. I don't lie to my wife, obviously. You know, most people, if you're married, you shouldn't. So my wife asked me, she says, you know, what do you honestly see happening? Because I've called a lot of shit, you know. Some shit's still in the works, but it's going. I've called a lot of shit, and it's not because I'm a fucking fortune teller with a crystal ball. I stay informed. With real news. I stay informed. She asked me, what do you really see happening? And my answer was pretty simple. Okay. If Trump wins, I start there for a reason, and it's not because of my bias. It's because it's the shorter answer, the simpler of the answers. If Trump wins, if I'm sitting here telling you, you know, other people have said the same thing. If I'm sitting here telling you this information, you think the president isn't aware of this? The president of the United States, you know, of these little riffraff organizations, powder puff organizations, militia organizations, terrorist groups that are lined up, ready, willing, and able. They're getting weaponized, armored, geared up, man. They're getting geared up and they're ready to fucking hit the streets. He knows all about this. That's why I tell you, stay indoors. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. Let them run their muck. You defend your homestead. That's what you do. Your homestead and your family. I feel bad for people that live in these high-prone zones. So President Trump, he knows what's going to go on. If he takes office, he knows that there's going to be this little left-wing unrest. They're going to try to throw the country into this total deluge of unrest and uncertainty, confusion, riot, and just basically civil war. They're going to try to incite civil war. But they will not succeed. Because we know the organizations. And there was a Japanese general, I believe it was, accredited to, and said, you know, you cannot attack America on its topsoil, because there is a gun behind every blade of grass, and that is the truth. And this is where I'm getting to at this point, okay? If Biden takes office, and I'm not an organizer of any type of movements or anything, but let me point this out. There's been poll watching, there's been rallies, parades, 96-mile-long parades, dude, you know what I'm saying, for Trump. Boat parades for Trump that just go on and on. Everybody in America is basically getting out and voicing up and saying out loud who they want for president, so that it is known. Okay? So if Trump takes office, you're going to have the majority of Americans knowing that if Trump does not take office, if Biden takes office, that you're going to have the majority of Americans knowing that they were robbed. They were robbed. Something was pulled from them. Somebody playing with my dick and it ain't me. And I don't like that, because I ain't trying to play with it. I ain't paying to play with it, you know? Just because you pay me to play with it doesn't mean that I fucking accept the payment either, alright, buddy? That's point blank. Alright? So when this happens, you know, if this happens, if Biden takes office, you're gonna have a lot of Americans that are gonna stand up and they ain't gonna fucking do it. No, this is bullshit. And when the control faction comes down, you're talking about people that played with your little game for a little while, now they're fed up. When you talk about the silent majority, you're talking about individuals that have been to war. They've lived through life, you know what I'm saying? They know what's going on. And let me also explain this. Let's get outside of the city. You want to take over the cities? Great. I can see that happening. The government can roll in and just lock shit down. When you get into the suburbs and the rural areas, this can't happen. This is literally an impossibility. I know guys that own helicopters, and they have bunkers with weapons, okay? And they have all types of armor, night vision, all types of crazy shit, bro. All types of crazy shit. Big shit, little shit, throwing shit, firing shit, all types of crazy shit, right? Now, this isn't like, fucking redneck motherfucking shit. No, bro, listen to what I'm saying, okay? There are people that have armors, and they also own, like, helicopters and planes and shit. And I know a couple of people that are like this. One particular motherfucker, he loves it. He takes him and his boys and he goes up in his helicopter at night with night vision goggles about a mile up and picks off wild boar on his 42-acre property with night vision goggles from a mile up in a fucking helicopter, dude. Like, listen, people are a little smarter than boars, obviously. But what the fuck? Listen to what I'm talking about here. These are people that sit in a tree stand, total camouflaged off. You can't see them. They look like the fucking tree, okay? They're covered in deer piss, so even the animals can't smell them. And they'll sit there for a fucking week waiting to shoot next month's dinner. You understand? And then they'll drag this dinner that they shoot miles. And they'll butcher it down and do all types of things. These are not people to be messed with, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're violent people. They do this for their own livelihood. This is how they eat. But then you got these other motherfuckers, man. I know some wild motherfuckers, bro. And these dudes, they got like 100 acres, some shit, you know, it's trees and hills and lakes and rivers, all types of shit on their property. Cows and deers and boars and fucking panthers. Crazy shit. alligators, all types of shit, right? And these motherfuckers got like these outdoor shooting ranges. This is not bullshit, man. These motherfuckers, they shoot anything, bro. They have these shits where they set it up on this fucking line and the thing moves it around. It's like on this motor, and these targets move around. They pin mannequins up on there. They fucking blow up fucking refrigerators. And these motherfuckers are crazy. Okay? Crazy motherfuckers. Now, I haven't even gotten into the 3%ers. The people that have actually gone... I'm just talking about people that go out and do this shit for fun because that's how they grew up. You now have 3%ers that have been to war. And a lot of the motherfuckers that I'm talking about intermingle with those same kinds of people. You understand what I'm saying? So the shit hits the fan, man. And if America stands up, there's a faction that nobody's ready for over here. Patriots. Patriots. You think that the blue line endorsing Trump in every single, almost every single precinct across this country, almost every fire department, unions, like 90% of unions, some crazy shit, have supported Trump. They've publicly put out their support for Trump. Okay? These are the people that build our country, protect our country, keep our country from burning down, save our people when they're in trouble. We're talking about EMT workers, the white line, the blue line, the green line, all of it. All of it. All those lines. You know what I'm saying? And people listening, might be like, oh, Doc's one way or the other. Listen, no. When it comes to lives, I don't play around, bro. There's no life that needs to die. There's no life that needs to die. I understand nature is cool and animals killing animals. Listen, I don't even want to kill an animal for me to eat. Right? The least amount of things that I can kill for me to live, the better. And I'm not like some pansy ass, okay? I am a 5-star chef. I have cooked exotic meats, every type of meat you could think of. I've eaten every type of meat you could think of. My steaks, black and blue, Pittsburgh style, you know what I'm saying? See it on the outside, raw on the inside. Steak tartare, frog legs, alligator meat, rattlesnake, bison. I don't fucking care. I've eaten it all. So when I tell you that the less that has to die, the better, then obviously that's the truth. So why is there hate in your heart? Why is everybody coming at each other with hate? You understand what I'm saying? There's no need for any of that anymore. This is going to be a big separating point in the line. But if good people have to stand up and do bad things to bad people, it's going to be a day of reckoning. Because when good people stand up and start doing horrific things to those who want to oppress everybody, they don't stop until the job's done. We don't half-ass shit when it comes to shit like that. When the mask goes on to the people that have not been wearing masks, they're not taking the masks off. They'll be in front of you and you will be begging for your life. You will be begging for the mask to come off. And those type of people, they're not taking the mask off, and you're not walking away with your life because you've violated too far. And this isn't like, oh, we're going to just run through homes. This is not it. This is like Rambo. No, it's not Rambo. Okay? Florida has a little law. It's called Stand Your Ground law. You're not going to come over here and do something to me. Okay? I'm not going to stand idly by and be victimized. I have the right to defend myself. It's called the gunshine state for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen. So in a nutshell, basically, I told her, listen, if Biden takes office, a lot of people are going to be on watch. The
federal agents, government protective agencies, local law enforcement, so many levels are going to be on such high alert that they will definitely be squashing any quell that comes up. And if Trump doesn't take office, well, you might see America step into a civil war. Literally. A civil freaking war. I don't know. Might be. Where we at? Alright. So let's take an actual count here. We got 91 for Biden. Right? He's got some strong little states up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like an even draw on the states so far. Alright. Good to go. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Does anybody realize that no matter what happens, life does go on? How does it go on? That's the big question. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to look at. How does life go on? So when we're talking about how life goes on, I got to look at a couple of different aspects. We can look at like Venezuela, right? What's going on over in Venezuela? Alright, Trump's over there, he's trying to do some things. Still, 2 days ago, he's over here, he's over there, he's everywhere, right? Venezuela, it's a big tug of war. Everybody's fighting. They want the oil. Socialist regime has run in. Now, where else can we look at unrest, distress? Here's another country, right? Australia news. Here we go. Now you see, it's funny, because when I pop this shit in, it's really funny. When I pop all these little Venezuela, Australia, let's look, Armenian. Let's look at the Armenians, right? Alright. I'm not seeing any coverage on what's going on. Okay? A little bit here, not much. Alright, so there's all this civil unrest, and lo and behold, mainstream news is not really hitting on it, man. Not really hitting on it. I gotta bring up DuckDuckGo and start bringing up Breitbart and articles like that. Israeli joins forces with the devil. With the devil! The imperialistic ambition. Listen, Armenia, they tried to take their weapons, alright? Just like they did in Venezuela. They tried to take their weapons. They said, no, we ain't giving up the weapons. You guys can look this up. It's interesting shit. We ain't giving up the weapons. So they got as many weapons as they could. It's like Kazakhstan or something next door to it that's attacking them. And it's a socialist movement that's trying to take the whole country of Armenia. You know, Armenia is Armenia is crazy, bro. Armenians are like nuts, dude. I don't mess with Armenians. Lithuanians, Armenians, you know what I'm saying? These people, when I tell you about Armenia is very similar to Lithuania. Lithuania is a very pivotal country. It's a pivotal country because no form of government has ever been able to take root in Lithuania. It is just, you don't fuck around in Lithuania, alright? Armenia is very similar. There's been very certain types of rule that have run in Armenia. They always become corrupt.
and the Armenians overthrow the officials. They almost successfully de-weaponized the entire country. But they weren't counting on one thing. The people of the country not trusting the government or any form of government. in its essence, even if they went and voted, they did not trust the government. So they didn't give up their guns. They kept their arms. There's no federal regulations over there to own weapons, okay? And that's a whole nother discussion over here. So they all had their armories, and now they're at war. Because the neighboring government, a socialist regime, thought that they didn't have any guns. And they came in and they said, no, we got fucking tanks, we got fucking mortars, we got anti-aircraft, ballistics, we got all types of shit, bro. We got jet fighters, we got a full functioning military force. So fuck you, you're not coming in here. Alright? Does that sound familiar? You're not coming in. I gotta hit y'all with some facts. Some facts and extremes, man. Some facts and extremes. There's some people out here that wanna see you put down. There's some people in the world that wanna play you for a clown. You understand? Every time you tell somebody something that hurts you, you give them the opportunity to hurt you. Man, oh man. We were warned about this, warned about this, warned about this, warned about this. Listen, it's up to you and me. We wanna be free. Shackles on my feet, and I need the key. They're invisible, so you and me just cannot see. But I have foresight. Walk in the spirit, brother. Come on, feel it, feel it, feel it tonight. Listen, man, what's going on with y'all? We got love, we got peace, we got blessings. I hope everybody's picking up some information I'm putting down tonight. I'm just trying to open the book it for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it's all fun and games, man. It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. Somebody can really get hurt tonight, right? You know what I'm saying? So listen. Who wants to talk about something, man? Let's talk about some real facts. Let's talk about the federal districts, man, that we reside in, right? You know, everybody heard about these federal districts and talking about the postal code. You know, we all reside in a state federal district, and then each state is broken down into different federal zones there. And then each county is broken down into federal districts. It's all corporate. It's all corporate, bro, right? So check it. When we talk about districts, we got to talk about an amendment that is on the ballot in every district. A national amendment. Amendment 3. Y'all know what this is about? Let's talk about Amendment 3. For those who don't know, let's find out. You know, listen, I use the Google because it's right here on the search. If you want me to go to DuckDuckGo, whatever, I don't care. I don't care. Amendment 3. Look at this. Y'all see this now. This is top 2 open primaries. So how does this work, man? Amendment 3. Right now, the way that it works is you have to have even split of candidates. So you have each party that puts up their candidate, right? You got Republican, Democrat, Independent, Nonpartisan, and there's like 5 others. We're not gonna get into it, right? So basically what happens right now is pretty simple. You have the top 3 out of the top 3 parties is basically what's put on the ballot. It's what's ran formally on the ballot, but it's not even the top 3, it's top 2. And the top 2 usually break down to a Democrat versus a Republican. Alright? Now what if the people that are running in my state, all the Democrats are the top runners? The Republicans are far down. Well, then that state should have 2 Democrats up for election, right? Because those are the top 2 candidates in that state. And respectively vice versa. If there's an overwhelming Republican side in that state, where it's 2 Republican candidates that end up on the top of the public vote because of their stance and what they want to do, and that's who the public wants. Now they're gonna tell you some shit. They say, you know, oh, it cuts out grassroots voters. Grassroots voters? What the hell is that, right? Let's look. Grassroots voters. I know what this is. You know what this is. But let's look at what they tell you. So, they use a variety of strategies from fundraising and registering voters to simply encouraging political conversation. So, grassroots is basically the people who want to build on certain platforms. You're voting for a public representative within your local district, your county representative, right? Now within your county there's 4 people up, let's say. Let's say there's 6 people up. Let's use a nice even split. 6 people up. There's 2 independents, there's 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. They put all 6 of these candidates to the vote with the public vote within that district. What happens? 2 Democrats end up on top. Well, we can't have that. And the independent party is not a majority recognized seat. Okay? Meaning the independent party does not hold Senate or Congress to any type of majority level. So they're not going to put up an independent candidate. They're not going to put up 2 Democrat candidates. They're going to put up a Democrat candidate and the partisan Republican candidate. But these weren't the top 2 candidates voted within that district. So this is what Amendment 3 is talking about, is leveling that playing field so that who the people are voting for go up on the ballot, the top 2 people. And a lot of people will tell you it's cutting out the grassroots voters, but we understand that that isn't true, because the grassroots voters are voting for the top people within their district. And also, with that being said, with Amendment 3 putting the top 2 people within that district on the ballot, it's going to cut out all the partisan issues with the Electoral College within each state. You understand? So basically, I know I speak long term sometimes. Let me lay it out layman's. If we have the people we are voting for, the top 2 people on the ballot, sometimes you're going to have one party up for nomination within that state. That state is a state that the Electoral College votes on the opposite end party, like it's 2 Democrats up, but they have to vote Republican, the Electoral College. Alright? Well, they can't do that anymore. So they have to vote how the people vote. So you're cutting out the swindling of the Electoral College with this Amendment 3 top 2 open primary candidate little amendment they're putting through. It's very simple to understand. It's a lot of jargon, this and that, but when you nutshell it, it's very easy to understand. Now we're looking right here at the numbers in Florida on the Amendment 3, and you see them changing every little bit. It's pretty up to date. So in Florida, there's a 75% of the polling stations being reported at this point. 56.8% are yes on Amendment 3 and 43.2% are no. Almost the difference of, well, we got 1 million people. That's a big, big difference. So the people are seeing that this is better for them. They feel that this is better for them. How do you feel about it? I don't know. I'm not you. You go ahead. You tell me. How do you feel about it? Amendment 3. Now, there's a couple of other issues that you've seen up on the ballots, up on the cards. And we're talking about some judges, right? Now, when we talk about judges, what kind of judges do you have? Let's look at the judges that are on the Florida ballot. You know, this is the Florida bar. Okay. Supreme Court justices. This is the state Supreme Court. So you understand, when you go in and you voting on judges, a lot of people hear that and they're like, let's talk about some people that we know. Yeah, I had this judge, man, that motherfucker, oh, he's a real POS. He locked me up under the damn jail. We ain't talking about that judge. We're not talking about a public official that worked their way up into that seat. They're not elected into that seat. They're appointed into that seat. They can be disappointed from that seat. Okay, they can be, taken out of that seat. But they're not elected by the people. They're appointed by the system within, okay, the higher ups. And basically the judges that you're voting for are the ones who appoint the judges, who say on a case-by-case basis what's up. So when you're voting for these judges, you're voting for your Supreme Court judges, right? Very simple thing to understand. And every state's got their judges up for ballot. All right. And again, we were talking about the bar, and you see it right here. You got to pass the bar to be a judge. You got to pass the bar to be a lawyer. It says British Admiralty Rule of Law. All right. Go here, you read through it. It'll explain everything to you. This is the FloridaBar.org. If you go to New York Bar.org, Minnesota Bar, whatever state you're in, put that in, and it's going to bring up all the judges that are on the ballots. Look into those judges, man. I don't know each of your judges. I don't know what's going on a state-by-state, district-by-district level. I try to keep up on the main hitting points, but you got to look into it yourself. All right. These judges that are sitting high up on this court are dictating and mandating, advising and devising what goes on in your land immediately. Okay. Federal law states, the Supreme Court of the United States of America is constitutional law. They say what goes and how the Constitution is dictated and how it's interpreted. All right. And they hand out judgments based upon constitutional law. Each state has its Supreme Court, which can run contrary to federal law. All right, that's why you have states that have medicinal marijuana. You have states with bestiality laws and age restrictions on sexual conduct. Some states 16 is a consenting adult. Some states 18 is a consenting adult. Each state has its own little way of doing things, the law of the land. So the law of the sea, the Admiralty law, actually went ahead and took into account what are the customs of the people here, and let's base our law of Admiralty, our British law of Admiralty, around the cultures and traditions of the people. Okay. So as we break down more and more, man, you see, this is not, black and white, dude. This is not black and white. If you think it's black and white, I want you to take black and white, okay? Go get you a salt shaker and go get you a pepper shaker, alright? And just shake them together in a pile. There you go. There's your black and white. Your black and white, you can't separate your black from your white. Go ahead. Go ahead and try. Salt grains and pepper grains? Yeah. Pepper shavings, rather, to be technical. Go ahead, separate them. You can't. You can't. They're mixed together. Okay, the black and the white. It's like, biblical talks about, the wheat and the tare. They talk about the good souls and the bad souls. Oh, we'll go tear out the tare right now. No, the wheat's still growing. We don't know. If you tear out the tare right now, you're going to cause the wheat to come up too, and it won't grow. It's not going to grow. So it'll be a bad harvest. Alright? So this is the exact parallel here. This is very easy shit to understand if you can break it down like that. If you think it's black and white, it can be black and white. But try to separate black and white. You come up with a different scenario. So where we at now? We got Biden with 91 and Trump with 73. We're still sitting pretty, alright? It's early on. Early on. I got another question for y'all. What you think about Planned Parenthood, man? That's a touchy topic right there, right? Planned Parenthood is crazy, man. This is a big issue that's going on. Didn't they shut them down? Right? They shutting down left and right. They got all their funding pulled. What do they do over here, man? Planned Parenthood. I mean, yeah, I can go over there. I get some condoms. Right? I could get birth control. I can get some care, right? They will care for you. They'll give you pap smears if you're a woman. Cancer readings and testing. Okay? But what is Planned Parenthood most known for? Abortion. Abortion. Isn't that crazy? Abortion. Now this is a touchy subject, isn't it? I bring this up because we're talking about judges. We're talking about the Supreme Court. We're talking about Roe versus Wade. A lot of people think that this is not a political issue. A woman's body is her business. Absolutely. It is. It is. Absolutely it is. Where's that law in draw? Really? What if I want to have a child? You can go and you can abort it. You can abort it without me. You can do that. I've had it done to me. So now you've robbed me of some precious little event that could have been special. I guess it needed to be done, huh? You really didn't like me, huh? Well, that's okay. You didn't have to like me. It's a child. I'm talking about a child, right? What's Planned Parenthood do, though, when they abort these kids? What do we know about it? What do we know about it? Planned Parenthood selling body parts. Look, it comes right up. It's right away. Fact check. Of course. Anytime I see a fact check on something, it's like almost declaratively true. It really is. So they're selling baby parts. This is an interesting thing to bring up here.
Alright, because we're talking about the 2020 election. We're watching it. Okay. Planned Parenthood. There was a sting operation that went on. So, what happened in this sting operation? Detectives went in. They found out that Planned Parenthood was selling body parts of babies, fetal body parts, for stem expressed per specimen, okay, determined in the clinic to be usable. Most of these fetal tissues have to be extracted from a living body to be viable and used for what they're going to use it for, okay. The detectives went in. They found out what was going on. This is not legal. They're selling living tissue from fetuses, preterm. They go ahead, they prosecute them. What happens? So, Kamala Harris, she go ahead and she prosecutes the journalists and the detectives that went ahead and made these findings and reported these findings. You know what else these body parts are used in? Let's look it up. Vaccine ingredients. Fetal tissue. Okay. They need human fetal tissue cells to put in the ingredients of the vaccine. And this woman's making sure that this goes through. This is why President Trump went ahead and put through this little referendum on being able to use live embryonic cells and all types of other executive orders. Alright? A lot of shit going on here. Who's in charge of vaccines? Gates. Yeah, great. Isn't that an awesome thing? Alright, people, well, listen. My time here, I think I've used up enough of yours. The last 2 hours have been fun. I didn't even realize it's 2 hours. I'm gonna cut it off. Alright. I love you all. We see what it is. We see what it is. When I log on tomorrow, I'm gonna see what it is a little bit more. I hope everybody enjoyed a lot of the information going on. There's nothing here that you can't find out for yourself. If you need information, you can go ahead. You can email me. Alright. You are here 24/7 @gmail.com for any questions, any requests for info. And as always, you know the deal with these videos, man. You gotta watch it, you gotta like it, you gotta share it, and you gotta subscribe. Well, why not? Why wouldn't you, you know? So it's love, peace, and blessings from me and mine to you and yours. As always, and as always will be.